Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another session of The Playhouse. This is probably one of my best interviews. Even before I've done it, I am super excited about today's interview because we are going to be speaking with somebody who has been in, I don't even want to call it the music industry, but I'll call it the media and entertainment Kenyan and African industry for over 40 years. I'm not doing justice to his introduction, but his stories are going to amaze you, are going to educate you, and are going to be inspiring. You're going to understand where we have come from as a nation in terms of sound and music engineering and music production and a whole lot of other stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for none other than Mr. Kanyottu, Mr. Babu Kanyottu, if I'm right.
Thank you, Richard. Hi, everyone. My name's Babu Alan Kanyottu. I'm married to one wife, Mary Wageshi Kanyottu. I have got 4 children, 3 boys who are in the media industry, and 1 girl who is also a professional in human resources. I thank you very much for Richard for entertaining me or giving me this chance to talk about myself. I am a sound production and reproduction engineer with a bias in acoustic engineering. Of course, you cannot separate the two. When you are in sound production and reproduction, even the acoustics come in. I joined the then Kenya, or Voice of Kenya for that matter, way back in 1966.
1966.
As a trainee, have been pitched from high school because that is the time when most of the parastatals were being nationalized to be government hold. I don't know what you call
certified.
No. I mean government ministries. For example, Kenya or Voice of Kenya was to be in the Ministry of Broadcasting and Tourism, and their work was to convey messages through radio, telephone, and what have you, because that was the only means of communicating or entertaining or informing. My interest actually is very, very early. Way back when I was in Form 2, Form 3.
And what year is this? Give us a bit of an understanding.
I was in Form 1 in 1962, Form 3 in 1963, in a place where we call the County Kirogo Boys Secondary School. We are the pioneers. But I was very interested in a subject called physics, particularly sound production, and it was very early. I could see the president speaking on front of a microphone, but what I could hear him is not from him, was from another device. He was using a device, and then I was told that's called a microphone. So that microphone was I became interested in how it is transforming or changing mechanical sound into another sound which is not mechanical, and it is a speaker, a device which is which I'm listening to. And when some interviewers came, I didn't know from where. I think they were from the tourism. They picked me for training. And I got a letter to go and be trained by Voice of Kenya as a broadcasting engineer, replacing the then expatriates who were either Asians or Europeans.
Wow.
We were 6 doing the same discipline doing the same discipline. That is training. And we were being paid salary to be trained. I remember my first salary was £258 per month.
Pounds?
Per month. That was that was translated to 400 shillings. And that was more than enough because I could even eat and save that money. Because life was very interesting. I am the product of the people who began to go to commute to town using only 30 cents from Maringo to Polytechnic. And then I had to go and become a customer to a certain hotel, whereby I was paying about 5 or 20 shillings, 2,000 shillings per month for lunch. And our lunch was nusu mukate, half a loaf.
2,000 shillings?
2,000 shillings a month.
Or a month?
A month.
Oh, a month.
That was enough for my lunch. So I was paying that hotel 2,000 shillings every month. Because I was we were taking half bread, and a cup of tea. And I remember we were about 6 students. So even that hotel, which is just opposite KFA, Haile Selassie, I cannot remember even now the name because now the management changed. They've valued us to be their most prominent customers because we were getting 12,000 shillings a month from a group. And our lunch was only from Monday to Friday. Now, to cut a long story short, my training, all the theories were from Polytechnic, and we were doing external exams from city and guilds. So, when I finished the training, I was posted to KIMC, and then the VOK had changed to Kenya Broadcasting Corporation as a prostitute or a department of the government. And I was a senior engineer in mass communication because we were the pioneers. We began training other technical staff because now broadcasting station went on expanding. So the way I was trained was very, very valuable because the people who were training us were Asians and Europeans, and they could always pick the people who have got interest in broadcasting. And I just through discussion, we could go for a cup of tea, they asked some questions, and then I was picked to go to be in charge of KIMC training department, training technical operators.
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, way back in 1969. I was with a few Europeans who were seconded by BBC. And I learned a lot. After training the technicians, and we were training them on broadcasting hardware, which included microphones, positioning my microphone, and then magnetic tape recorder, because we were storing any information on magnetic tapes, real tapes. And also, after being trained to repair and operate, they could go to the broadcasting station. We were also trained on repairing of Duke boxes and record player, video record player. And let me say that now, even my first time to see a video, a record player, was made of carbon. It was breakable.
What?
Yeah.
It's not the ones that we now see.
It isn't. This came much, much later. But even in my archive, I know I've got 1 or 2 breakable. They were made of carbon. And the way the sound was being reproduced was very interesting, because the only factory which could do that work were in England or Germany. And they were impressing the sound vibrations mechanically. Okay, horizontally, that was the bass. Vertically, that was that was the high frequency of the stereo. So the stylus or ile sindano had two movements: vertical movement,
And
that is the treble, and lateral movement, that's the bass. But the biggest challenge was, you know the way the record is, on the outside, it goes very, very fast.
bigger diameter. I mean, yeah.
Because the diameter.
Yeah.
And you want to have constant speed. As it goes inside, it becomes slower. That is the first challenge of the people who were manufacturing, or who are manufacturing those type of records, because of the speed variation.
Oh, because in the first one it's wide, so
Yes, the circumference.
stylus, yes, the circumference is
you
wide.
know the stylus is scanning. Okay, the outside going towards inside. So as it goes inside, if you translate that one, it's going slower. Okay, so it will start faster and end slow.
Yeah.
But there should be no speed variation. Because if the speed now variation is going to
So what did they do to ensure that it was constant? What were you doing?
So there was what we call capstan roller, you know, which was quite heavy, and there was compensation. Okay, as they were impressing that sound on the disc, there must be compensation of the speed. So the speed was being regulated from the pressing unit. So the pressing unit is the one that was being commanded.
Production, at
production.
At the pressing of, yes.
The pressing.
Yes.
So the stamp, you know, that's the one that was being controlled. So that now the speed of the circumference, you know, as it goes there.
In fact, as it comes closer, it goes faster because the circumference is less. So it starts this.
No, it goes slower.
It goes slower.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the same time.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yes. Oh,
If
yes. The pressing should be
Yes.
slower.
It's going. It's just, you know, even the tire of your vehicle, the outside is faster than the inside. Okay, because you know the outside you cover bigger distance at the same time than the inside.
I understand.
So the compensation of the speed was being determined during the pressing of that record. So one could not know what is going on. Once you put the stylus or stereo and then on the disc, the speed was appearing to be constant. But it is the way it was impressed from the factory.
Yes.
But what is very interesting is that sound was horrible. But then,
why do you say it was horrible?
It was horrible because it was only unique. It was only interesting. But because you could not get another better sound from that device anywhere, everybody was liking it.
Oh, I hear.
Okay?
You had no option.
Yes, you had no option. But it was much worse. The quality was worse. Okay? Because you could not be able to differentiate your treble. There was no this bass control, treble control, mid control. It was coming as it is. Okay? So that was the first challenge. But I do remember when I operated that recorder, that player. Sometimes it could be defective. So what I could do was to use my hands to press the capstan, so that as it goes towards the center, it becomes now slower. Okay, so everything was mechanical.
You are the DJ with your hand.
No, there was no DJ that time because there were no machines. Okay, it was only affordable by Asians.
Yes,
they were not even commercial. Only few people who are tycoons who could afford to buy such a thing. Secondly, there was no input. What I'm saying, there were no musicians.
There was no musicians creating music.
Yeah, that because there was no market.
Oh.
Okay, people are not used. They were used to hearing the radio. Okay, they were enjoying that because there was no local music production.
So there was no local musician on
maybe some live, but not from
recorded.
Yeah, not even from that pressure-driven. We call it his master's voice with a big horn.
Yes.
And don't forget, there wasn't any amplifier. Okay, to use electricity and amplify the voice. Amplification was through pressure. This his master's voice, just like the way it was pressure. The way you play this what is this tarumbeta? What do you call tarumbeta or flute? Trumpet.
Yeah, trumpet.
Okay.
Or even yeah.
Yeah, that that one is it was using that pressure. Okay, so you could not. There is no way you could add volume of that thing. The volume was constant. You get me?
I get.
The volume was constant.
I understand.
If you want to add the volume, you put the device closer to the person. If you don't want the more volume, you put the device farther from the person.
Yeah.
And it is very, very uncomfortable. But again, there wasn't anything better than that. So that is on the record production. Until now, the technology now developed to the vinyl. The vinyl, they are plastics, and the same mechanics, still the same philosophy applied to control the speed from the pressing machine.
Yes.
Okay.
During the production phase.
Yeah. So that now, what is being impressed there, that speed has been pre-controlled by the device. So that is the device that was compensating. And then the speed was constant.
Yeah. And now this one, did more people have access to this equipment now for vinyls and records?
Yeah, the people now began becoming actually interested. Okay? Because before they went to the vinyl, I was one of the first group, we used to go to hotels to listen to Duke boxes. Because those were the first commercial equipment. And you could only get them in a bar.
So that's where you went to listen to music?
In a bar, yes. Or you through the
radio.
The video, pretending I'm taking coffee. Yeah. And again, that was not too River Road. Mid Nairobi.
Yes.
The place where more Asians were congregating.
And where was this? This would be the Norfolks or
not the Norfolk.
Norfolk is uptown.
Yeah, Norfolk. There were Norfolks. That entertainment it wasn't there. Okay, and the Europeans don't like to hear themselves. They would like they would have liked to listen to Africans, but there were no Africans now producing. Actually, the first Africans I know that they are producing, apart from the Congolese, Daudi Kabaka, but John Bosco, Wendwa, and then from our place where I come from, the earliest was Chida Yekombe. Chida Yekombe, but he used to play accordion. Okay, accordion, because nobody could be able to play a guitar. Okay. The only thing that perhaps somebody could play is called
Wandindi, our local guitars.
Yeah, with two or three strings. It's similar to the violin. Okay, and then actually the life was entertainment was not very, very, very valuable because people still had the mentality if they want to be entertained, they go to the cultural centers. When there is some songs, if there's an occasion, wedding occasion, or anything similar to that, initiation, that's where the people are going to be entertained. Mechanically through the not electrical devices.
Live. That was human beings playing instruments.
These and the mechanical things, not even get the guitar. Because the guitars They are not very old.
It's true.
But the guitars were, initially acoustics. Because there was no pickup, like these pickups.
Yes.
These are the thing that change the mechanical vibration.
Yes.
Okay, into electrical vibration. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the pickups that picks the mechanical vibration of these wires, and these pickups are magnetic. And those who have done a bit of magnetism, they know that now if there is magnetics is interrupted, okay, that interruption is converted into electrical, that disruption, whereby you can now use your volume control to amplify that interruption, because it is changing that sound vibration into the electrical product. And then this electrical product, you can now use your amplifier to amplify. But don't forget, you cannot listen or hear any electrical pulsations. So you have again got to make another device to do the converse, okay? To change the electrical, okay, vibrations into mechanical vibration. And that is the speaker. Because after all, you cannot hear anything electrical. So whatever came from somebody or from the vibration must, when it goes through the electrical circuit, it must again reconverted to the original format, sound. Sometimes you can make some effects, okay, to sound or to make some sonic value on whatever you are producing. So you can have an effect. An effect is a condition where something sounds different from where it is supposed to, where it originally sounds. And this effect depends on the acoustic property, okay, or the surroundings. For example, the way I'm sounding now, because I'm in a studio, if I go to a church hall, I'll sound different, because
the room is different.
The room is different, and there is reflections, and the reflections, we call that reverb. Reverb is mouth echoes, many echoes, coming from different places, okay, and arriving to the ear at different time. That is a reverb. It's not an echo, because echo is a distinct sound. Okay, and you can actually say that is echo, because echo is just what you sound, it comes back.
Yeah.
But the reverb is multiple and byproducts, because every service reflects.
So let me ask you: is this like for example, the conversation that you've just had? Is this the kind of stuff that you are teaching now at Kenya Institute of Mass Communication?
No.
Or VOK?
No. What I was teaching is basic electronics. Okay? Electronics. Because, after all, even music is actually, if you want to enjoy music, you have to use those devices. If you want to talk and be heard from far, you must use the electronic devices. There is a microphone you must use. There is an amplifier that you must use. Okay? And then another power amplifier that you must use to radiate your sound far from the source. And then on the other side, there must be a mast, okay, which is going to trap, okay, the radiated waves, and then reconvert that one to sound. It is actually the reverse, because you have got to have a transmitter.
Yes.
And then the transmitter, there is a transmitter and a receiver. There is a mass that transmits, and there's still a similar mass that has the receiver. For example, whenever you see these external areas of before we became a satellite,
Yes.
those areas of
Yes.
either television,
Yes.
okay,
The KTN and the KBC ones.
yeah, they receive, okay, but these days the type of sound transmission or is quite different, yeah, because the technology is so advanced due to the introduction of the satellite and the digital part of it, but that one is later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, in terms of production, were there local programmings happening on the TV stations? Give us an idea of what was airing and what people were watching.
No, before the TV came.